Hey, welcome. This is the Voice of the Veteran Show, the #1 show in the nation for firsthand veteran experience at the VA. My name is Gail Ucla, along with, there he is, Nicholas Cormier III, and in the back we have MC Franklin, the producer. Say hello. There he is down there. That's him. All righty. Hey, Nicholas, I know this isn't what we even planned to do here, but did you hear about that bear in the outhouse up in Alaska?
No, Gail, I haven't heard about that.
Well, I mean to tell you, this is some weird stuff right here. I've got a thing right here because every week I send out, a little note to the viewers and stuff and say, hey, remember, we're gonna, do the Voice of Veteran, list of the shows, and when to join in. It's every Sunday at 1:00, and don't forget about us. That kind of stuff. And I put a little joke up at the top of the thing. And this week I found this thing about this bear in Alaska, and he was hiding in it. This is a real story. It's in the news. I mean, I'm not just making it up to be a funny person, and he was in the outhouse, and he attacks this woman while she's using the toilet. Okay. So she's in there, and, I can't get this out of my head. I mean, I guess if I was a bear and somebody was peeing on my head, I'd be pissed off too. You know what I'm saying? So I included the link, and maybe I'll get the link and put it in the chat box later, because I mean, this is the funniest story of all. It says, I opened up the toilet seat and there was a bear's face right there at the level of the toilet seat, just looking right at me. So I slammed down the toilet seat, and, and they got the heck out of there. And that really happened up there. I don't even have the name of the town right now where it was, but it was up in Alaska, and it says outhouse, bear in the outhouse. So he's sleeping in there to keep warm.
The bear.
The bear. I mean, now I know there's a joke in there, but I don't know what it is. But I mean, it's just a funny picture in my head to think about this bear being in the house. Just like, are you even kidding me? You think of a squirrel or some other little thing, or you look in there and you think, oh man, I don't know anything biting me on the ass, but no, a bear? A bear, a big bear. So enough of that. Just throw that right over there. But I was trying to bring it up because I couldn't get it out of my head, and I couldn't think of anything else. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Gail. Thank you for putting that image in my head.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, I saw a little note there from Janice. She said, good job. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janice.
Yeah. So, well, I wanted to do kind of a vaccine update because, everybody wants to hear about the vaccine, and we try to cover that all the time. And that seems to be, some of the most popular information that we put out on this show right now, because everybody's so involved in when am I going to get my vaccine? How am I going to get my vaccine? I happen to know that Janice just got her first vaccine. Good job. And also, so I think we're going to talk about some of the terms here. We have all the regular pandemic terms like isolation. I'm reading these down here because I can't even remember them all myself. Isolation and community spread, transmission, incubation period, fatality rate, But there are some newer ones, like social distancing and flattening the curve. We want to bring it down. Flatten the curve, and the all important, epidemic versus pandemic. We learned about that recently. And quarantine versus isolation, and respirators versus ventilators. Oh my gosh, all the things that we've learned. It's amazing.
And also contagious versus infectious, and what antibodies do. I do know what you mean.
Yeah. But because of all this, we're like on a corona roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? We're just riding the curve all the time. And then there are all these comedic terms that have been popping up recently. It's what I want to have fun talking about today. And they're the new pandemic terms. The one I like especially is vaccine envy. I thought that was kind of funny. So that's someone, here's the definition. Vaccine envy is someone who hasn't been vaccinated yet and they can't get an appointment. You know?
Oh.
So what's your favorite new term that you've heard?
Well, I don't know. I guess my favorite is when you're vouching someone. That means cutting off someone for not taking social distancing measures seriously enough. You know what I mean?
That's right. You can't date people that way. So it's like unfriending them or something. You're vouching them. You know, just get away from me.
I just scoop my chair like this.
Oh, you just keep me going, Nicholas. I swear to God, this is great. So, you know, we need a song for all these terms like asymptomatic, contract tracing, frontliner, furlough. You know, you got a couple.
Herd immunity.
Yeah.
Chloroquine, lockdown, long haul, essential, non-essential.
Yeah, super spreaders, another one. And the one that I remember that I liked was twindemic. That's when you get two things at once. You get the coronavirus and you get the flu at the same time. So I went and got my flu shot way back when. And then I went and got, you know, a corona shot because I didn't want to be involved in any kind of a twindemic. And then the all-important viral load. Don't hang out too long because you'll get more of it. So here's the comedy list. Those are the real terms. Can you imagine? And now we're going to talk about the comedy list. Nicholas, guess what these are? Okay.
Well, I see you've listed anti-masker. I'm thinking that's someone who isn't wearing a mask, but someone who it's not someone who isn't wearing a mask, but someone who refuses to wear the mask.
Yeah, an anti-masker.
Okay.
So that's right. And then here's one for you. Here's one. People refer to things as before times.
Before the pandemic?
That's right. Exactly right. And let's see. That's correct. And what about Corona baby?
A baby who was born at home during the pandemic.
Well, that's close, but to be specific, it's when two people get real cozy during a quarantine and they're chilling, and you know how that is.
Quarantine and chill.
That's right.
Oh, so yes, there are babies being conceived while people are cooped up at home during the coronavirus. They've also been dubbed corona babies. Is that what you're saying?
That's it. That's the definition of that term. That's where anyway, I looked it up online, and this is online stuff, so goodness knows if it's true or not. But then there's Corona coaster, and that's when we're riding that curve up and down, you know, when we're wearing masks and not wearing masks, or the other way, we're wearing masks and then not wearing masks, you know, and the curve goes up and down. That's the Corona coaster. So a Corona cut, okay, is a haircut. Yeah, that's right. There's a haircut that you do yourself at home. That's a Corona cut.
Yes. Then there's Corona somnia.
Yeah.
And, you know, can't sleep worrying about corona.
That's right.
You know, I had that. I stayed up all night.
Oh, man, that's the worst. I mean, it's weird. And then you want to eat. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking, I think I'm still hungry. So I eat in the middle of the night. What the hell is that about? You know, that's when you get your Corona 10. Now, this is the funny one. Corona 10. Hey, I got to stock up on supplies to help flatten the curve, and then you add 10 pounds on for your Corona 10. That's what that is.
Yeah. Then there's COVIDiot, someone who doesn't listen to science. And there's the quarantini. That's slang for the cocktail.
That's right. A quarantini. Thank you very much. That's right. So, and then there's a quarantine, TEAM, quarantine. And that's a very limited group of people you see during self-isolation. A quarantine, people you could trust. They're your team.
Yes, yeah, a quarantine. And
Yeah.
then there is all the Zoom language we've been hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom bombing, right? Zoom bombing. This is
Mm-hmm.
when uninvited guests to a meeting disrupted with various obscene, violent, or offensive images or words.
They're
Uh,
everywhere. They're
yeah,
everywhere.
I've seen that. That's happened several times. Zoom fatigue. That's the exhaustion that sets in while living life over Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then,
And then there's Zoom mom. That's like a soccer mom, you know what I mean? And only the mom does everything on Zoom. The Zoom mom has back-to-back appointments on Zoom, a meeting with her boss, a conference, and with her son's English teacher, and fundraising planning sessions with her local library, and a virtual book club with her sisters. Yeah, soccer mom, Zoom mom. Then we've got something interesting for all the business people. Zoom Town. Now, that's a place where housing sales are booming due to buyers who work remotely and who are willing to live further from the office. That's a Zoom Town.
So we did the entire alphabet. Okay,
Yeah.
we got clear through the Z's. I see you have an important national number, Gail, for women's veterans health.
Oh, yes. And I'm gonna get that put in the chat box. Oh, looky what I did. I have this other information, but I'm going to go ahead and send it too because it's something we're doing later, and it's really important that I get this link in for what we're going to talk about next because it has to do with women's health at the VA, and there it is. I got it. So I was talking to Renee Andresian at VA West Los Angeles. You know, she's she was on the show a few weeks ago, and she's the women's health program manager. And we were talking about how it would be good to put this information for this national hotline for women's health directly into the VA veterans rumor mill. Because no matter how much information the VA puts on, a website, it's nice. I mean, I'm glad they do to have that as a reference, but vet to vet information and firsthand veteran experience appears to be how we actually get a lot of our information. And I mean, that's why we're doing this show, because it's about firsthand veteran experience. So I want to say that, like we do every week, we tell everybody that we don't just put these numbers up here and don't call them. And so I want to say that I actually called this national number, and I spoke to a very lovely lady named Kay, and she was like ready to go to help me with any information that I wanted regarding women's health. So yes, she asked me if Renee asked me, she's the local person, but you can call her too. She asked me if I knew that there was a national number for women's health. And I said, no, I didn't know, because I always just called VA West Los Angeles, but I never thought about it, that there would be a national number. So there is one, and I didn't know that. So she requested that we mention it on the show, and that's why I'm mentioning it on the show.
Cool.
So
we all know the best way to get info out to the veteran community is by word of mouth.
Yep.
Vet to vet. So this info is for women veterans and for any guys who know women vets and want to be helpful.
Well, yeah, so that's right. So keep that number in your wallet, and be helpful. I mean, if somebody, some female veteran that says, oh man, I wish I knew how to contact this or that. Well, go ahead and give them that, that number for that direct call service. So you're going to want to, know about how to wade your way through a whole bunch of VA numbers. You don't have to do that. You don't have to wade your way all through it. You can just call this number and ask. So I'll be repeating that number, on the scroll below or whenever we can. I'm just trying to look at this note on here too. What I'd like to know about is, what does that say, Nicholas? Can you read?
Gail, I do not have my readers on. I'm trying to see. I see that Marilyn Moore.
Yeah, something about Corona-19, no more close talking. Oh, get back.
I see something about distancing also.
Yeah. Think 6 feet social distancing is 3 feet. See, now that's the Corona coaster. Have they changed the number? We can actually get up closer now, or we have to.
Well, Gail, in order to make a Corona baby, you
yeah, you can't do that from a distance, I don't think, unless something's aerialized there that I don't know about.
You need a waiver, right? You get a waiver.
A waiver. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So, Gil, one more point about the National Call Center.
Please do.
Thank you, Marilyn. It's that they will refer you to the local VA in your area, the VISN that you're in. So the call would be received locally the very next day when the program manager gets to work. And they have up to 3 days to respond by the WVPM, which is the Women's Veterans Program Manager.
Which would be Renee Andresian at the AOS Los Angeles. So she wants people to call her. She just keeps saying, man alive, I know they're out there, and then things become critical, and I would like to help, get to meet the women veterans before everything's critical. You know what I mean? So, she's a good contact. Use it.
Yeah. Shout out to Renee. Renee Andresian's been a guest on Voice of the Veteran also. So thank you, Renee, for the information. Gil, are you going to put this link in the chat box for everyone?
Yeah, I am. You just keep talking and I'm going to do this.
Okay. We know they're going to want the link. I see the link popping up there now. I know we also have an update for Space Safe Flight. That's going to be Kyle Orleman sent us that link for the Space Safe Flight. We spoke about Space Safe Flights a few weeks back on Voice of the Veteran. After a quick check on the link, I'm going to be passing it along to you in the chat box so Gail can have it there for you. There's a Space A newsletter with updates and info on Space Safe Flights. So we're going to list in the chat box www.military. Okay, copy that. Military.com/discounts/military travel discounts. And I'm going to stop speaking now because that's way too long to keep talking about.
Well, I'm telling you, man, those things are long sometimes. But the next one I have here, we're going to talk about the UCLA baseball field. And I'm going to go ahead and put that link right in there right now and send that on because let's go ahead and do this because we've got a fantastic update about what's going on. There's a baseball field for the civilians who don't know. I'm just saying this before we get started, Nicholas. There is a baseball field, the Jackie Robinson baseball field that UCLA uses for practices and stuff. And they have leased some property there. And the things that are going to happen there are going to be great for veterans. So let's just tell them about it. And the link that I put up there is the entire UCLA baseball schedule, Jackie Robinson baseball field. Veterans can attend free with their VA or military ID. And so I did send a picture of what that schedule looks like, but we don't need to show a picture of it. If Franco finds it and wants to put it up there, well, fine. If not, fine. They've got the link, so it doesn't really matter. So, Nicholas, please tell me things about the UCLA VA baseball field. Stadium area over on Constitution Avenue, just west of Sepulveda, near the Columbarium is where it's located. Tell me about things.
Well, Gail, you know what? I like the baseball stadium. I love Jackie Robinson. So it's hard to speak about the UCLA stadium right now without mentioning Jackie Robinson, number 42. It's named after him. So I know you mean that the new info that we've heard is in the VA briefing because Gail and I were in a briefing recently and we have some news to share with Voice of the Veteran. So Gail, can you share a little more of that great news we heard?
Yes. So the new practice field. Now I'm going to look at my notes here because I want to get this all exactly straight because this is great news for veterans. So there is a new practice field on the UCLA leased property, and veterans will have scheduled access, certainly not not during the baseball games, will have scheduled access for jogging and exercise and Tai Chi classes.
Yes. So you're going to take Tai Chi, Gail?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I mean, the classes have always been indoors with the pandemic going on and everything, and that just ain't happening. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I am too. This is firsthand veteran experience, and I've also participated in that Tai Chi class, and also the yoga classes that were originally at VA Building 220. I don't know. Sometimes
inside, right?
Yeah, inside, but sometimes we'd go out to the courtyard with Tai Chi also. So it's super cool that they can also be held at this practice field that we're talking about now with the UCLA lease.
Yeah. So it's going to be. So it's not going to be on the main field. Hell no. It's going to. This is going to be on the new practice field area, out to the side of the main stadium, because that would ruin the main baseball field. And this is the new area on UCLA's already leased property, and they will be sharing it with veterans for exercise purposes.
Yes, that was cool news. That's great to hear.
So that's on the leased property, right?
Yes, you're talking about you're saying it's on the leased property. Oh, look, we have a schedule popping up.
Everybody, there it is. There's the list. Franco found it. That's the baseball list. So when you look it up online on whatever the .Bruins and all that kind of stuff, that's what you're going to be looking at. You look for those times. You go to the baseball field with your ID, and you can go in free as a veteran. So that's right. The VA property can't be sold. Okay. So I thought everybody knew that, and it can't be sold. So in order to improve the property, they can do what's called an enhanced lease use agreement. We're done with the list.
Is that what they did with the VA? What the VA did recently with the Wadsworth Chapel project?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I think they leased the Wadsworth Chapel, now I'm just talking right now, for like 20 years or something, to a developer to fix, repair, and historically restore that building. And at one point, the VA had like 31 enhanced lease use agreements all over the property.
Yes. And you're saying West LA can be like a little city. The West LA VA can be like a little city, maybe even a medium-sized city, actually.
Yeah.
How many ELUs enhanced lease? Is it an enhanced lease?
Enhanced, extra over and above what the VA normally enhanced lease use agreements.
Okay. How many do they still have, Gil? Is it 31 lease agreements?
No, these all went bye-bye with the master plan, so they could do new improvements from scratch, whole new master plan, homeless the various buildings out there. You've been in probably every building over there. And know the name. Well, I don't mean for programs. I mean to visit friends, or that about it, because you know about these things. So as usual, there was a big rumor going around, new improvements, around about some whole new stadium or something. And that's just not even happening. It's a practice area in the parking lot of the UCLA already established lease use agreement. So
understood. So there's no new property involved, is what
that is correct. That is correct. It's a new practice field in the already leased property. I'm actually excited about what's going on out there. I really am.
Yeah. Well, that's right. I've heard that too, Gail. Also, I was in the meeting with you, so I've heard that, and I also know that you mentioned something about having the Tai Chi class and soccer games as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's great stuff.
Yeah, it is. Well, all I have to say is thank you to Mac. To Robert McKendrick for all the great work that he does to help veterans to get to use this area. We haven't been we didn't have any options out there for this kind of thing. And this is a really wonderful thing. And then it was Tess Banco, by the way, I just want to say that shared that schedule with us, that information.
Well, thank you. Thank you to Tess, Executive Director Tess Banco of the
That's right.
Permission to speak freely because it's firsthand. Firsthand is I lived at that campus for quite some time at VA Building 257, and I also got to attend those games at UCLA during what was one of the greatest runs by a collegiate baseball team. I've met the coaches out there. It meant a lot to me, right? Reintegrating back and everything else. It meant a lot to me that I was able to have that experience there, and a lot of veterans shared that too. We also were able to hit balls on the practice field, so I'm excited that we'll also be able to have utilization of this new improvement.
Yeah. Well, I've been to baseball games out there as well, and I absolutely loved and enjoyed it. Doesn't Gary Sinise have like a hamburger night once a month or something?
Look, man, Gary Sinise Foundation feeds us. When we go to those games, sometimes they'll let you know when we try to, that's that firsthand vet to vet. We'll pass that information around and make sure the veterans know to show up. But Gary Sinise Foundation feeds us some of the best ribs, some of the best barbecue you can have. I mean, it's a don't miss event. You know what I mean?
I you started bringing that up because I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was
I do too. I mean, and it's a great partnership that UCLA does for us out there with the food. They've had it every time. Also, every third Monday, Gary Sinise Foundation would bring the barbecue to us as well, which meant a lot to us,
Okay. Well,
so, Gail, I'll just say it's free for veterans, like you mentioned. We saw the schedule up there. Thank you, Tess Banco. It's also free for veterans. It also falls within the UCLA Lease Agreement 2018 West LA Land Use Agreement. All that is in order and legal. Actually, the VA gained back 500 parking lot spaces. And Gail, what's next on that?
Well, what I want to do is skip through a couple of pages to talk about Charlotte Fortin and, in our Black History Month stuff. And I want to go ahead and say something. I was going to do a Jim Crow information. And in talking to you and Franco, you taught me something that I didn't know. I was thinking that I wanted to share everything about Black history on Black History Month because it would help enlighten people and whatever else. Well, I was right and wrong at the same time because in my want to do something nice, I didn't realize that Black History Month is a celebration. Well, I knew it was a celebration, but I didn't think about who the heck would want to talk about Jim Crow on Black History Month? I thought, well, we'll define it. We'll tell people how awful it was and some white guy was doing something in blackface and they named it Jim Crow and it's insulting is what it is. And so here I was trying to promote something that was informationally good to know about. There's nothing wrong with knowing about it, but my timing, oh my gosh, my timing was all off. So I'm glad you guys brought it up. I'm glad that I learned something new. Thank you very much.
Well, Gil, I mean, I think the key factor is communication, willingness to listen. Yeah. I'm hearing what you're saying, but I also am experiencing communication, willingness to listen, and honesty. And that's what it's all about.
Well, I know. That's why we can talk all the time because that I just simply didn't know the nuance of that. I mean, why would I really,
But I've known you for a long time, and what I've seen is a consistent willingness to grow and learn. And I think some of that comes across from, and that's why we get so much great information here at Voice of the Veteran, because Gail enjoys looking at material and studying material and then sharing that material. So I know that that's coming from that place, and you do that for the veterans. You do that for me constantly and consistently with your advocacy for veterans.
Me too. You do that for me too. So it's not something that's lost on me at all.
Thank you, guys.
So, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Well,
it's
I
just
genuinely wanted to back out of this Jim Crow crap, and it's all over the pages here, and I'm going, damn, what am I going to do?
yeah, it's just again, like back to celebrating.
That's right. Well, I want to celebrate two black women that I found other than, what I was going to talk about. But I found out about, last week I talked about, Rosa Parks, and we know who Rosa Parks is, and we know who Ida B. Wells is, right? But I learned about Charlotte Forten, Forten, and during the Civil War, Forten was the first black teacher to move as a free black woman from the North to South Carolina to the Sea Islands for what was known as the Port Royal Experiment. Now, she chronicled these times in her essays entitled Life on the Sea Islands, which was published in the Atlantic Monthly in May and June issues in 1864. She's a very interesting woman. And the reason I picked her because she interfaced with military and veterans. And this is how. She was present when the 54th stormed Fort Wagner on the night of July 18th, 1863. And then later, Forten volunteered as a nurse, serving soldiers of the 54th Massachusetts Regiment. And I think her life would make an amazing movie from what I read. I mean, just incredible. But that's not her picture.
Maybe we can do something about that movie idea again.
Well, I'm telling you. But let me tell you, that's not her picture either. I think Franco's having fun back there. Just
right. Yes.
Get those pictures off of there. No, none of those apply. So I want to talk about an amazing person currently that's out there that I mentioned her name to you guys and you didn't know who she was. So I was kind of like, yeah, looky who I found. And but a modern day African-American woman is saving all of us by her superior work as an immunologist, and her name is Dr. Kamisia Corbett, okay? And she has been key in the development of the vaccine for COVID-19, okay? And Dr. Corbett's interest in science started at a very early age, and in recognition to her work on the vaccine, Orange County, not California, Orange County, North Carolina, named January 12th, 2021 as Dr. Kizzy Corbett Day. And wow. She is really somebody to read about these days and watch her career because she's the reason we got our vaccines, Nicholas.
Well, I thought that
one of them. She was
Thank you so much. I feel a lot better having had my vaccines. And thank you for sharing that, Gail.
I'm going to put the link up about her, in the chat box right now. That's what I'm going to do. You go right ahead, but I'll add that.
You know what? I know we have another subject here. We're talking about Veteran Service Organization, right, Gail?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Also need to do that. Hang on. I'm going to put this Dr. Corbett in this chat box because she's an important individual to read about. I'm serious. I was amazed. My mouth was open. I was like, what? Okay. Let's try this.
We got it. We got this. I was just going to add that Dr. Corbett has been on my radar.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's on our radar, Gail.
All right, my radar's back on the script. Let's get veteran service organizations. Let's talk about them. So veteran service organizations were established to advocate on behalf of veterans and to provide veteran-specific resources, okay? Many are federally chartered, officially recognized by Congress, and are mostly private, nonprofit organizations run by volunteers.
And that's the veteran service organizations who are most often called before Congress for testimony on the state of veteran affairs, and that's known in DC as the Big Six. While each has been engaged separately in traditional methods of calling for votes, such as letter writing and email campaigns, they are now maximizing the power of social media to expand their outreach to get more veterans engaged.
Mm-hmm.
And the Big Six service organizations have offices in Washington, D.C. and lobby for veterans benefits. In the veteran community, they are often referred to as the Big Six, and they include the American Legion, Disabled American Veterans, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Vietnam Veterans of America, Wounded Warrior Project, Paralyzed Veterans of America, and AMVETS. And the seventh, the well-known Wounded Warrior Project, is a little different, but they do a lot of good things for veterans. These groups have members that do work on behalf of veterans. One of these groups is called a VSO, or Veteran Service Officer. Here's a link where you can read more about what a service organization is and about what a VSO, Veteran Service Officer, is and what they do for veterans.
I put the information in the chat box.
Okay, thank you, Gail. And Gail, didn't you? Okay, Gail, didn't you interview for a VSO position at VA West Los Angeles recently?
Why is that? Yes, I sure did. I think Franco's lost his mind. Get your fingers off those buttons.
Franco.
Didn't we have room for this picture with your article? Is that not, I mean, you give me pictures that don't go with what you're saying, and then you.
That's right. I mean,
y'all playing games on me. What?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's just crazy.
Well,
Lost our minds here today. We've got full tilt, random.
Okay.
Franco, I appreciate the false start photo. The false start photo is one of my favorite things.
You're making me laugh. I was so nervous. I mean, people don't know that things are all crazy before we go on the air, and things happen, and we have to just recover and stand on our chair and do it anyway. And I mean, and my heart was pounding. I was so nervous today, but we're gonna get through this one way or another. Damn it. Okay. All right. So, yes, I did. I sure as heck did. I applied for a job as a VSO at VA West Los Angeles.
That's kind of a tough job. How'd the interview go? What kind of questions did they ask you?
Well, being a comedian, sometimes I just say the first thing that, pops into my head, and that's not so good in interviews sometimes.
Well, I imagine an interview can be kind of touch and go for you, obviously.
Yeah, well, they asked me what gets me through the day. And I said, LSD. I mean, they said, I'm serious. I'm going, what kind of a question is that even? What gets you through the day? So I said LSD, and they said, well, it is the VA, so you'll need it, so you're hired.
So does the VA prescribe LSD these days, Gail?
No, they do not. But why don't you just go check with the VA pharmacy and see what they have to say about that subject and see what that is.
I don't think I'm doing that, Gail.
I know. Sometimes, how, this is a funny thing. You know how sometimes military personnel make up stories just to pass the time? They're sitting waiting.
When each person adds the next part of the joke or story, right?
Yeah. You start the story and they say the next part and the next part. Well, yeah, I like that. So I was in the VSO office one day, and this Navy veteran was talking about how bad the mosquitoes were when he was in Panama. Okay. And I told him that there was only one thing that could stop a bad mosquito, and that was a good mosquito with a gun, So that started all the storytelling thing. He agreed, and he said, well, or maybe a SWAT team, and I went, oh man, we're going for it here. So then I said to him, yeah, a SWAT team on a sting operation, so we went from there.
That's a good one, Gail. But you know what? We love joking around. Vets love joking around. Yep. Gail, does your family watch this show?
Well, I'm not sure, but my sister always says, "I'll watch your show when you finally decide to tell a joke." So. So, why don't we just move along and talk about the suicide hotline?
Gail, before we move on, I just want to say congratulations on your interview.
Thank you very much. I'm excited. It's not completely official yet. They've got some more voting to go on and stuff, but it looks like, I bought a new coffee mug with my name on it that said Gail Ochiltree VSO. So,
the willingness to be a veteran service officer is just amazing. So obviously,
I worry about it.
Send good vibes, y'all. Send good vibes to Gail. Send good vibes to VOV and Gail. All right, I just wanted to do that because you're my friend and I support you.
Thank you.
And thank you for the example.
Thank you. And I get concerned because I want to do absolutely the right thing. And it's a big responsibility because this has to do with people's lives, So there's another thing that the VA is doing. I have a card that's separate from down here on the script. And I just want to say something nice about the national VA back in Washington, D.C. And I found out that Veterans Affairs is doing a wonderful thing with mobile vet centers that are available for counseling. And I don't have this number available to put in the chat box, but I'm going to go ahead and say what it is because it's important and you'll figure out why. It's 202-726-5212. And after the 6 January 2021 incident in Washington, D.C., these pods are set up for employee assistance for people in Congress and staffers and people like that. The VA is helping out that way, not just with veterans, but also supporting those people that are having trauma after that day and what went on there. And Veterans Affairs has responded. And as a veteran, I'm proud to share our resources with government officials and that this is available to staff, Capitol Police, house clerks, food service workers, custodial workers, and veterans understand. And this is just a really good thing. So you don't have to rush to recover. The VA knows that people need help over a period of time. And if you're one of the staffers or people out there that need some help, there are VA pods, little pods out there, and you can access care through what the VA is doing for that situation. So let's talk a little bit about something new. There is a new, of course, this isn't a funny subject at all, suicide prevention, but there is a new hotline out there. And what they've done is shortened up the number. So once again, our government has been helping us, with new and innovative ideas. Senate Bill 2661, Suicide Hotline Designation Act of 2019, was passed to counter the effects of our government. Suicide. I couldn't help myself. I just went down the rant. As a result, our government has created a quicker way for us to, get help. And the FCC Communications Commission has now shortened the suicide prevention hotline to a 3-digit number, and it's 988. The long number is 800-273-8255, and that's the longer number. But I really don't want to be funny, but you know, if you don't have a number in your head immediately when you need it, you're not going to be looking for this long version. You know, I mean, you really want to have something where, you know, I mean, when you hit 911, thank you, Franco. That's good. That's it. You hit 911. You know, everybody knows that. A little child knows that. And if you're having problems and feeling, you know, bad about yourself, you want to hit, you know, 988. Not try to go look for some long number. So this is a really good thing that they've done. So if we can, I'll get that put in the chat box. But I was talking and I should have let you read that. It would have made it easier on both of us. But I'll try to do that right now because, for goodness sakes, it's a suicide hotline. I mean, you know, it's like.
Go ahead. Repetition works. The FCC, Federal Communications Commission, now has a 3-digit number to reach the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. That 3-digit number is 988. The 10-digit number is 1-800-273-8255. And I suggest that you put that number on your refrigerator because it's the very last number that you want for if you are feeling, well, not good. So
that's right. Not good. I mean, just not good.
It's a good idea.
I trapped it here and I'm going to put it in there and I did it. Yes, please. Okay.
Thank you, Gail.
This is rugged.
Gail, I'll read the following, Gail. So Gail can get the links. Okay, Gail, you've got the links. The first link is the VA Finder form.
Somebody just said, how do you get help after you call that number? Sometimes it helps to know what VISN you're in because they'll ask what area you're in, or they'll ask you, where do you live? And you'll say, you know, Los Angeles. And then they will connect you up with either, you know, they'll establish what your expectations are, you know, and they'll help you in that way from that hotline. And they'll either send you a social worker, VA social worker, or a psychologist at the VA. There are a lot of psychologists at the VA, as you can imagine, you know, that are there to help. I mean, don't you go see a therapist? I'm outing you right now because I'll tell you I do.
Oh, what you talking about?
Do you go to a therapist? Doesn't every veteran go to a therapist?
Hey, you know what? I'm an advocate.
You're not going to tell, huh?
Well, I don't talk about it. You know, I don't talk about it.
I just thought you didn't. Your mama didn't know. Okay.
Well, Gail, I mean, come on, Gail. I'm a single man. I ain't trying to tell women my business.
That's what it's about. Okay. Well, I thought you.
No, I'm kidding. I advocate for therapy,
I know you do.
And I openly admit with no problem or reservation whatsoever. I like to keep my stuff together. I like to move forward. So absolutely, I have been through the VFWC, the Veteran Family Wellness Center. I was linked up with the Give an Hour program. The Give an Hour program will find a therapist for a veteran, and that's going to be therapists outside in every community. I happen to have Beverly Hills Therapy. Who's going to say no to that? You know what I mean? I get an hour every week of Beverly Hills Therapy, which is why I'm so good.
That's right. That's why. You know, I got all kinds of things coming to my head, and I need to keep.
Thank you to the VFWC because I mean that's good stuff. I recommend it. I haven't had to use these numbers.
Jeez. Let's talk about VA Find a Form. I'm going to put that information right up there in the chat box right now because VA Find a Form. Go ahead and start in on that.
Okay, VA Find a Form. The second important link, if I file a VA disability claim, you can do that all on your own, or a better thing to do is to contact the VSO, Veteran Service Officer, to help you review and gather the info needed for your claim. They can advise and are networked in with the VBA offices. File a VA disability claim equal to VA Form 21-526EZ. And all these forms are available under the VA Find a Form link. Gail, are you?
It's only been 2 minutes. When did I write this script? No. No, I'm not a VSO.
Gail, have you been hired yet, Gail? Did they hire you yet?
No. Did they do it yet? No. I just had my interview on Monday, for gosh sakes. They're still voting. So, you know, I don't even know.
Well, Please
so you
send
keep
good
reading,
answers.
and I'll keep finding links. Here's one for
Another-
DD214s. I want to make sure and get up there, because if you want to get your DD214, you want to make sure that you have this one.
Okay, another important form is for applying for the GI Bill and other education benefits. It includes VA forms 22-1990 and 22-1995. Apply for VA healthcare equal to VA form 10-10EZ. Request a DD214. That's going to be at www.va.gov/records/get-military-service-records. You can request your DD214, DD215, which is going to be your amended DD214, report of separation, other release papers. You can also request documents with information about your service, such as your orders and endorsements, performance reports, your attaboys, awards and decorations, commendatory items, qualifications, licenses, and certifications. And
Now,
security.
did you call them attaboys in the Air Force, or is that just me writing that? Attaboys, attaboy, you know.
I was in the corporate world too. Attaboys is universal.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
My dad used to tell me, you know, Nick, it takes 10 attaboys to make up for one all shit. I got a military dad. That's what my dad used to say.
That's perfect. That is perfect. I'd never heard that one before, but now I'm going to repeat that to my grandkids. That is wonderful. Thank you, Franco, for putting that on the screen.
We've also got the VA directory for California.
Yep.
Do we have that?
Yeah, too.
You've got it there? You're putting it in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Gail.
You know, because you got to be able to find VSOs. Now, there's something cool regarding VSOs. You know, I was sitting here and getting information together and stuff, because I'm really thinking, you know, I'm going to get this job. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. But I finally said, Alexa, how do I find a VSO? And you know, that sucker told me, you can find a VSO if you ask Alexa.
Can you?
Yes.
That's cool.
I'm not joking. I mean, it's funny, but you can. I just did it several times. I said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I mean, technology. So, you know, I guess the deal here, Nicholas, is that you got to know what a VSO is to ask for it. You can make it available anywhere, but if people don't know what one is, then they can't even start in and ask the questions.
Absolutely.
All right. So last week, we talked about the Harlem Hellfighters, and then we talked a little bit about a crazy story, you know, a crazy great story about Black women in military. And you have that for us. But, you know, after researching all this historical timeline and everything throughout all, you know, Black history and everything, Nicholas, I'm thinking that we might want to just continue Black History Week and current Black history makers that are making history right now currently, you know, maybe continue, you know, over the next couple months or something to focus on veterans stories.
Yeah,
you know?
yes, I love that idea.
Yeah. And current day military challenges, because for the first time, you know, I'm able to make a realistic comparison between policy and past history and current day civil rights issues, you know, about how all those things are blended into our current rules and laws and stuff. And I'd actually like to, you know, talk about it and stuff. And it's given me a different attitude. You know, I'm just not, here I am going to be a VSO. I'm going to help people and stuff, but I'm not the helper for everyone. My perspective now is more about, with regard to Black History Month and stuff, specifically sharing and fairness, you know? So let's just do more sharing about what quality character is in our society. And Nicholas, please tell me things about this special corps in military history. This is really good. And Franco, this is probably the time you might want to show these pictures. When Nicholas tells you to.
Well, you all, you know, as before last week, and this is our week. We're going to continue to focus on Black history. I say TGIF. Thank God it's February. It's Black History Month, and you know what? I'm excited about sharing what we've learned about the 688 or the 6,888th Central Postal Delivery Battalion on Voice of the Veteran. Y'all bear with me. My vocal warm-ups were very shoddy today. So bear with me, y'all.
We had a rough time.
Yes, but I'm gonna do my lip blowing. Okay. I mentioned the last couple of weeks, Black service women and servicemen are our focal point this month and part of the next. The largest unit of Black service women to deploy to the European theater is the U.S. Army's 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion, led by Major Charity Adams, the first Black female commander. 6,888 belonged to the Women's Army Air Corps, or WAC. The battalion endured an 11-day arduous journey to Europe, avoiding torpedoes from German U-boats. Their mission was a simple one. 6,888 had to wrestle with a logistical backlog consisting of 17 million letters and packages destined for Allied forces. This daunting amount of work coincided with the deadliest time of World War II. Perhaps the greatest challenge of their mission, overcoming the value test. 6,888 was an experiment. Prior to the unit's formation, it was unheard of for an all-Black female battalion to exist. Completing the seemingly impossible task of delivering millions and millions of letters felt like a setup for failure to Major Adams. Success meant Black females were of value to the United States military. Failure could mean the opposite. Took First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt and activism in the civil rights community to convince the War Department to issue the value test to the 6,888. Once on duty, a white officer was proposed to Major Adams to tell him how to do it right, to which she replied, "Over my dead body." Sexism and racism were rampant, causing some of the women to report that Europeans treated them better. Length of time given for completion of this task, 6 months. The 6,888 did it in 3. The 6,888 was awarded the European African Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, the Good Conduct Medal, and the World War II Victory Medal. Upon completion of the assignment, the 6,888 returned to the United States. There was no public recognition of their service at that time. Now, of course, the 6,888 has been honored in 2009, but I'd like to take the time on Voice of the Veteran, as I did last week with the Harlem Hellfighters, to say to the 6,888, from me to you, welcome home. And to the Black female veterans of 6,888, Voice of the Veteran says it as well. Welcome home.
Welcome home. Good job. Good job. Valuable and prideful, and that's like honorable to all of us. They honor all of us, themselves, and our country. It's wonderful. Thank you, Nicholas, for spending time to present the Harlem Hellfighters and for the 6,888 on the show. It'll be in the library. There's my bird clock. That means we've got to wrap it up with a wrap and recap. I mean, there's no end to the stuff going on today. I mean, there's just endless distractions. It's amazing. So it'll be in the library. I want to say that again. It'll be in our library so that you can review it anytime. So now for our final wrap and recap on the show this week. Out of all the things that we've covered, I think mine is knowing that LSD is available at the VA. I don't know. You know, what Nicholas, what's your take home this week? What do you think?
Well, Gil, I would have loved to have met Timothy Leary, but no,
he's still alive. Can't be.
He's probably still alive. But you know what, Gil, I think my take home for this week, honestly, my take home is 988.
Yeah.
My take home this week is 988, to the 3-digit number for the suicide prevention hotline. So That's sticking with me. Thank you.
Well, I'm thinking 688. I mean, there's all kinds of 8s this week.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I enjoyed researching and learning about the 6888. I'm going to research and learn more about them. I just wanted to share my take home. I know we have to wrap up. We're at the top of the hour, Gail. You know, that's it for this week. I'm Nicholas Cormier III and
Gail Ochiltree. I'll see you next week for firsthand veteran experience at the VA. Thanks, everybody. Join us next week.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Marilyn.
Yeah.